welcome to Bibliophiles Anonymous, episode 50. I'm Denise.
And I'm Jess.
And tonight is a very special night. We are celebrating not just our 50th episode, but our 1-year anniversary podcasting.
Woohoo!
We were talking about this right before we started recording. This is just mind-blowing to me. That
Really
we've done this for a year.
Yeah. Wow.
I know.
I mean, two people who can't stick with anything, and a year later, we're still podcasting.
I know. I would never have expected us to keep going for this long, just because I usually have the worst follow-through of anybody that I know.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we've gotten through this for a year, I mean, and pretty much every single week we've done this. It hasn't just been kind of hit and miss. Whenever we feel like getting together podcasting, we'll do it. I mean, we've only missed 2 weeks, and that's it.
Yep.
Which that is just absolutely insane. In a good way.
Technically we missed 3 because we split the Harry Potter one into 2 episodes.
No, but we had an episode each time, so I think it counts. Yeah. I mean, we didn't skip a week. We just split something up into 2.
Didn't report that week.
Yeah. But we still had an episode, so it counts. It definitely counts.
Okay.
Yeah. But
yeah, wow.
I know. So
and this episode is actually going to be released on my birthday.
Yay! Happy birthday to you. I'm not going to ask how old you're going to be.
I'm 29 again.
Oh, of course. It's a good age, 29.
It's not 30. That's what it has going for it.
But
I think once I'm past it, I'll be okay.
Oh, yeah. You get used to it eventually.
It's just turning 30. It's that age where you're supposed to, have a career and be out on your own and be able to take care of yourself and, be a grown-up.
Really?
And
then I must have missed something.
In theory, you're supposed to have your stuff together and, kind of know.
I have some of my stuff together, I guess.
Well, you have a house and a husband and kids, so.
Oh, that is no indication that I have my act together. All that means is that I found someone crazy enough to put up with it.
From the outside perspective.
Oh, God, I guess I put on a good front.
There you go. Whereas, I still live with my parents and work at the dollar store and record a podcast in my free time.
Oh, do not denigrate the dollar store. I love the dollar store.
Hey, the dollar store has moved up in the world, let me just tell you.
Yeah.
I remember when dollar stores were cheap generic stuff that, nobody else carried. We got stuff Walmart ain't got. And we got a lot of stuff that, about the same price as Walmart, and I don't have to go down the mountain to Walmart. I can just buy it while I'm at the dollar store, 4 times a week.
It definitely works.
It may be a little bit more expensive at the dollar store, but I save the gas of having to drive to Walmart. Because I'm already at the dollar store. So, hey. I just, 30, I'm going to cry.
Don't cry.
Pretty sure I'm going to cry the day I turn 30. And it to make it worse, my friend next door, I was talking to him the other day, and he looks at me and he says, so how does it feel to be 2 weeks away from turning 30? I was like, just shut up. And he says this like I'm, so much older than him. He's 8 months younger than me.
So his time is coming.
In May, he will be 30.
And then you can laugh at him.
And then we'll both be 30 for 5 months. Or 4 months or something like that. Yeah. So he's not that far behind me.
Well, I think probably, since we've started pretty much every show this way, we should talk about today what we're reading.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
I'm almost done with City of Ashes.
Okay.
I think I'm at like 86% or something, so I'll probably finish that tonight. And then I'm going to start Ready Player One.
Yes, that's what we're talking about next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the Tavern Book Club book for September. It's Ready Player One by Ernest Cline.
So I'm going to start that as soon as I finish City of Ashes.
Cool.
And that's pretty much it. Although I have been updating the crap out of my quotes Tumblr since I've been reading City of Ashes. Because there's so many good lines in there that are just begging to be shared.
Those
And
books are endlessly quotable.
they really are. I even shared one on your wall because it was one of those irreverent Magnus Bane comments that really had nothing to do with anything.
Yes. I love those.
Because he's like, Jace is like, you want a round table meeting? We'll have a round table meeting. And Magnus is like, I love round tables. They suit me so much better than square ones. And it's like,
What?
okay.
Yeah. No, that's why he's
But
one of
I
my
have
favorite
figured
characters.
something out. Yes. There's a few problems. I'm still having problems with the City of Bones movie. Even reading City of Ashes, I'm having problems because there's stuff from City of Ashes that they've put in the City of Bones movie.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, you can't do that. You don't need to do that. You did do that, but you shouldn't have done that.
I have a feeling you're going to be saying that over and over for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing we can do about it. Oh well.
And I also found out that they've delayed the filming of City of Ashes because the screenplay is not complete. Cassandra Clare shared this on Tumblr.
You want to know what you know what that translates to? That translates to they realize that they really screwed up City of Bones and now they have to go back and try and fix something.
Yep.
Translation.
Kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah.
They realized that nobody was happy about City of Bones.
Not so much.
So maybe we should try to do a better job on this next one.
That would be an excellent strategy. We'll see if they actually do it.
I really hope they do.
Yeah.
Because if not, the second movie will probably be the last one that gets made.
Probably. Yeah. I couldn't if they screw up the second movie, I don't see how they're gonna make any of the other ones.
Mm-mm.
Not with as much as this one bombed.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm reminded reading City of Bones and City of Ashes just how much I love Jace Wayland. I'm sorry, boys in books are just better.
Yeah.
He's so snarky, and I love it. I like snark. But yeah, I'm chugging right along through those, and as I go through, I will be making more and more quotes and putting them on Tumblr. And I'm also, because I'm so anal, fixing some of my older ones because the last time I updated GIMP, I can use bold and italics now, which is something GIMP didn't have prior to that update. So I'm going back and fixing all the ones that I couldn't use that on. So yeah. I went back and changed all the Mortal Instruments ones I've already posted so that they match the new ones I'm posting, had the same font and everything, yeah.
You're not OCD at all.
See, I'm not OCD, I'm OCPD. There's a difference. Obsessive compulsive personality disorder is not the same thing as being obsessive compulsive disorder. Yeah, completely different. But I am borderline OCPD, I think. I'm like missing. If I had one more symptom of it, I would probably be able to be diagnosed with it. So yeah. I like making lists. That's one of my things.
Oh, it's one of my things too, so you're in good company.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm reading that, and I'm gonna start Ready Player One as soon as I finish. So I'll probably either start Ready Player One tonight or tomorrow.
Cool. I hope you like that one. That one was one that I had recommended for the book club, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's really it's dystopian and it's quirky and it's about video games and everything you ever wanted to know about the 80s.
I was born in the 80s. Those were good years.
Yeah, So it's really fun, but at the same time there is a serious storyline that's going along too. So yeah, I haven't started it yet. It's a reread for me, obviously, so I'm not as concerned about getting it read. But I do want to read it again just because I want to read it again because I like it, and it just gives me an excuse. So I'll probably start it tomorrow. But let's see. Actually, just tonight I finished a book. I finished Scarlet by A.C. Goffin. And it was actually really good. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
You've mentioned that one a few times
Yeah, well,
before.
I've
At
been
it and one.
yeah, I've had it for a while now. It was one of those that I think I picked up at the used bookstore. Yeah, because it was on one of those lists. See, I do the top 10 Tuesday with the Broken the Bookish on my blog pretty
Mm-hmm.
much every week. And that, I swear, doing that meme and participating in it has been my downfall as far as my to be read pile is concerned. Because people keep there's it's a certain topic, and we've used several of their topics on the show before, and they've just everything's on, and it's a list, but you know how much we love our lists, right? And so it'll say like your top 10 favorite thises or that's, and I'll just go through all of these lists, because if anybody comments on my list, I will automatically go to theirs and look and comment on theirs, just because that's friendly and fair and everything. So I'll just see these lists of all these books, and they're usually your favorite something. They don't very often do your least favorite whatevers. It's usually your favorite something. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at all of these books, and I'll they'll usually leave like little tiny snippets or a synopsis or something about why they like it so much, and I'll look at it, I'm like, oh, that looks like a really good book, or that's a really cool cover, or wow, that title is really interesting. And so many people now will link it automatically to the Goodreads page, so it's just like, okay, click, I'm on Goodreads, and click, it's in my to be read pile.
Yeah.
Do you know how many clicks I've done? A lot. But
Goodreads is going to be both of our downfalls.
it's my saving grace, and it's the bane of my existence, but hey. But this was on, I don't remember which list this was on. I can't remember who recommended it now, but it was something about, I don't want to say fairy tale retellings, because it's not a fairy tale, obviously, but it was something about like classic stories that are given a new twist or something like that, I
Right.
think. But it was one that sounded really interesting, and it's a retelling of Robin Hood's story, which right up my alley, right? So
Oh yeah.
I figured I would give it a try. And basically, what it works out to be is that it's kind of the beginnings of Robin Hood's story a little bit. I mean, he's still fairly young. He just got back from the Crusades, and he's just really started trying to do the robbing from the rich and giving to the poor kind of thing, because he's been deposed, or no, his father was killed, that's right. And he didn't have a home left to go to because of Prince John and the Sheriff of Nottingham, and all those people are there. So you have that, and you have the beginnings of his, well, they don't call him his merry men in this one, but they call him his band. And one of the people who joined early was Will Scarlet. And in this book, Will Scarlet is actually a girl who is pretending to be a boy. Now, Robin Hood knows that she's a girl, as does Little John and a couple, like only a handful of people.
Right.
But the whole time she's following along with them and helping them, taking care of all of the people. It's a girl instead of a boy. And she just kind of picked the name Will, and she got the nickname Scarlet because she had these bright red hair ribbons that she had tied and used kind of as a signal. I think she had threw a dagger into the ground, and it had a red ribbon on it, and that was like a signal for something. I don't remember exactly, but so she just kind of got the name Scarlet, and then she just tacked the name Will to it so it would sound like a boy's name. And there were a couple things, like I kind of guessed as she was talking who she actually was, but I was wrong. I went through the whole thing. I was like, oh, I'll bet that. Oh, wait, no, that's a different twist I wasn't expecting. Okay, carry on. But like I said, I just finished it. It's really good. It's not one of those books that you read that's like, oh my gosh, this is one of the best books ever. It's totally changed my life kind of books. But it was fun. Yeah. It was a quick read. It was easy, and it was very enjoyable. So I recommend it. And after, it's just I needed this because I'm going to be reading something that I've heard is quite heavy afterwards. So Because after I do Ready Player One, the next one on my list is If I Stay by Gail Forman, which
Yeah.
is a bit of a hefty book from what I have heard. But what's really funny to me, because this is another one that I found at Ollie's, which is like my second favorite store in the world, and I got it for $1.99. That seems to be like a common price of theirs for their books, which is why I love them. But it's like the very top of the cover, it's the where they stick little blurbs and quotes from either news outlets or other authors or something.
Yeah.
It says on the top, "Will appeal to the fans of Stephanie Meyer's Twilight." I'm like, really?
Is that the go-to tagline?
I guess. I guess that's something that they want to do if they want to try and, drag in the YA market at some points. Because I know it's funny because some of the Cassie Clare books have actually I think that's a quote from Stephanie Meyer. And it's like, okay, just because she says that it's good isn't necessarily, a selling point for me.
Yeah, for real.
And if you're comparing something to her, I don't know if it's a selling point to me, but I've actually heard from lots of people that this is a really good book. But it's a really kind of hefty book. So, I mean, and not size-wise, just emotionally.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, size-wise, I think
it's tiny, actually.
In one night, so.
Yeah. But, so we'll see. And I think it's the beginning of a series. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Or at least there's a sequel to it.
I was gonna say at least 2.
Yeah. So if that's the one that I read next, then I'm trying to keep going with series. If I start a series, I want to finish it before I move on to the next thing, because I've not been so good at that in the past, and I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I finally finished the Graceling series, so hey, I'm getting better. I'm working on that.
That's true.
So. Anyway, so that's all I've got that I'm reading right now.
Well, I'm still sort of working on the Silmarillion, but I haven't really read any of it lately because I was reading it and listening along with the Tolkien professor.
Right.
And FYI, I mentioned his Indiegogo campaign, and I've actually listened to a couple of the free classes that they've done.
No, how are they?
And it was so fun. They're really good, actually. And the first one I listened to, they shared the link to join on Facebook, and I commented on it and said, maybe I should stop playing Lego Lord of the Rings and join in. And he commented back and said, definitely, Lego orcs will wait to be slain later. And said, we're discussing Helm's Deep and alliterative poetry tonight. It's urgent.
Oh, how funny.
So, it was pretty funny. I was amused that, he replied. But, he's tweeted back and forth with me on Twitter a few times. So, I mean, it definitely, if you're a Tolkien fan, it's something to look into.
Yeah, it's something that I'm going to look into once I get caught up on a whole bunch of other things, because, those are books that take a little bit of time and dedication to, even just the regular Lord of the Rings before you get into the Silmarillion or any of the other offshoots.
Well, the good thing about these free classes is even if you can't listen in as they're being broadcast live, they are putting the recordings up so you can listen to them afterwards.
Oh, that's good.
But the fun thing about doing it live is you can type comments and hear Dr. Olson respond to them and things.
Oh, that is cool.
Because I got so tickled when he was talking we were doing the Helm's Deep, and he was talking about armies don't just come back from the dead and fight, and I'm like, really, there's some guys in the Paths of the Dead that would like a word. And apparently somebody beat me to it before I could get the chat box open and type it. Because you can type in what your comments, but nobody but Dr. Olson can see them. There's not actually a chat type thing going on. So, I mean, it's actually, we're like a class. You can't socialize amongst yourselves and not listen to the teacher.
Right.
But, he's like, it just doesn't happen. The dead don't come back and fight in armies. And that's what goes through my head. There's some fellows in the Paths of the Dead that would like a word. And he's like, okay, Paths of the Dead notwithstanding, Apparently several people said something. It was pretty funny.
Well, yeah.
I
I
was like,
mean,
yeah,
you
see?
can't let a comment like that just go. Not in a
No.
room full of Tolkien fans. It's not going to happen.
Oh, no. People are going to jump all over that one.
Yeah.
And, at some point I will finish reading. People who look at my Goodreads are like, you always say you're reading like one or two things. Your Goodreads page says you're reading 8. I'm like, I'm not actively reading all of them.
It's funny. Right now, my Goodreads page says I'm reading nothing. Because I
Well, that's okay.
only had Scarlet on there, and then I finished it, so I went ahead and flipped it over to my Red page, and yeah, now it says I'm reading nothing, and I'm like, that can't be right. I must be reading something. I don't just stop.
So, yeah. I'm not actively reading. I have the complete Sherlock Holmes that I am working on, like, when I don't really have anything else that I'm like, oh my god, I want to read this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am with the Mortal Instruments at the moment. I'm like, I really want to read all of these, reread all of it. My goal is to reread all of the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices and read the new one. Because I haven't read Clockwork Princess yet. And I don't just want to skip ahead.
Right.
Tempting though it may be to, jump from City of Ashes to Clockwork Princess, I'm going to read all of the Mortal Instruments, and then I'm going to read the Infernal Devices, and, that's when I'll read Clockwork Princess. Because I really, 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 really want to read it.
I need to pick those up again. I read Clockwork Angel, but I cannot. I never got any further than that, so I need to.
Yes, because, we need to, have an episode and discuss my crackpot theories about Brother Zachariah.
Okay.
Because, and hey, there are people on Tumblr who agree with me, but then again, we've already discussed how, crazy the people on Tumblr are.
Yeah, so that's not necessarily a vote of confidence.
I was going to say, so that may not necessarily be, but.
No.
I'm convinced of my rightness. So, yeah. Oh, did you see the thing I tagged you in on Facebook?
Yes, and we should talk about that because that is an excellent topic to talk about on such a auspicious occasion as our anniversary.
It really is. I was excited. I flailed around for a while, and I'm pretty sure I screeched. But
well,
so yes, apparently, and this comes from J.K. Rowling's verified Facebook page. So this is not a joke.
No, I mean there was a thing that was going around a while ago that she was writing an 8th Harry Potter book, and that was a hoax.
Yes,
we found
this
that
is
out.
not.
This is apparently official.
Yes, the Nerdist even put up a post about it, so it's true. She has officially announced that she is writing a screenplay for Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. So it's not Harry Potter, but it's part of the wizarding world.
Right.
Which this could be very interesting. I mean, and she said it's 70 years before Harry Potter, so I'm thinking what it's going to be is a movie about Newt Scamander researching and writing this book.
Right. Which
will be really cool because we'll get to see a lot of the magical beasts that we didn't get to see in the movies because, for time reasons, whatever, they got cut out. Although I'm not really upset that we missed out on flopperworms.
That's true.
Or blast-ended scroots.
Actually, I wanted to see the blast-ended scroots.
Oh, well, sure. They would have been interesting. But we'll get more hippogriffs and hopefully, the Kneazle thing that was cut out, the whole thing about Crookshanks being half Kneazle.
Right.
That may get explained, and
hopefully we'll get to see some more dragons. That'd be good.
Oh yes, that would be awesome. More dragons.
Yeah.
Dragons. I'm addicted to Dragon Cave, so obviously I'm a fan of dragons.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I think that it's going to be really interesting. But like I'm having a hard time seeing exactly what she's going to be doing with it. Cuz basically Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them was a book that she wrote for charity. She's written a couple of those. And it was supposed to be like one of the Hogwarts textbooks.
Mhm.
And
well, I think the angle she'll probably take is she'll make Newt Scamander, the author of the book, the central character, and we'll see the story of him writing this textbook. I mean, that's the only really logical way to go about it.
Yeah, I mean, that would have to be the only thing. But I'm looking at the post here, and yeah, it said that it will feature the book's fictitious author, Newt Scamander.
Well, the thing to be excited about here is the fact that J.K. Rowling is the one writing the screenplay.
No, that's true. That's true. That's interesting.
No third party coming in writing the screenplay, because basically she says in the article that they pitched this idea, and the more she thought about it, the less she liked the idea of someone else writing it.
Right, because she was very protective of some of these characters, particularly Newt Scamander, apparently.
Right. So she decided to pitch her own idea for a movie, and Warner Brothers went with it. But I mean, they would kind of be stupid not to.
Well, basically, and I hate to put it this way, but anything that's going to have the Harry Potter tag on it is going to make some money.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a no-brainer at that point.
Well, not so much that, they went with something that Harry Potter, but they would be stupid not to go with the option of having J.K. Rowling herself write the screenplay.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, I mean, when you say this is a new installment in this Harry Potter franchise, actually written by the woman who wrote the books,
mm-hmm.
That's going to make people go, okay, yeah, we need to watch that because she can't screw it up. It's hers.
Yeah, you'd like to hope.
Well, considering that we don't, I mean, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them is not a book that actually has a plot. Like you said, it was written like a textbook. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So whatever story she decides to tell is going to be new and original, and she can't screw that up.
Well, you wouldn't think so.
We can't look and say, oh, well, they left this out, and I don't like what they did with this character, because they're going to be things that she's creating specifically for this that's not in a written format that we've seen before.
Right.
So I'm pretty excited about it because, like I said, if she writes it, then it's definitely going to feel like Harry Potter's Wizarding World. So,
yeah,
I think it'll be interesting to see. And it's set in New York, apparently, so this will be, America's Wizarding World.
No, I didn't even see that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure your heart lives in New York anyway.
Well, yeah, it does.
So that should be exciting for you that this is going to be set in New York.
I'm down with that.
But yeah, I think it's something I will definitely go see.
Oh, I would too. I'm not gonna.
It's something we'll definitely. Sure. When it comes out, if we're still doing this podcast, we will definitely have to do an episode about it.
Yeah. that's a given.
Because I have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
I don't.
I ran across the 2-book set, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them and Quidditch Through the Ages, in a junk store, in a thrift store, for like $3.
Wow.
So, needless to say,
they are now yours.
Those characters, yes. Because I'd been wanting them for a while anyway, and Holly had bought them, and I had seen them, and I knew I wanted them, and I ran across them, and I was like, hey, Dad, can I have $3? Because I was with him, I didn't have my money, we were looking for something he needed, and I stumbled across them, and I was like, I love you? So I got them. It was pretty cool. I also have, Tales of Beetle the Bard.
Yeah, I have that one. I just don't have the other two.
Well, I really, really wanted the fancy schmancy, really expensive, leather-bound, pretty awesome version of Tales of Beetle the Bard. But, yeah, I don't have all the money it took to buy that one.
Yeah, that one was pretty extreme.
It was awesome.
Well, yeah. Of course.
But, it's kind of like the Codex Duranianus, which goes with Catherine Kurtz's Durini books.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally limited. It was hardback print run of like 1,000 copies, Yeah, there were some on eBay that were like $1,000.
Oh, good grief.
And I'm just like, holy cow. But they finally released it in paperback in a mass market edition, and then I bought it because I got it for $9. I'm like, I really, really want it because it's one of those companion things, kind of like the Revan Codex
Mm-hmm.
is to the Belgariad world.
Right.
And has all of like the Valdemar Companion is to Mercedes Lackey's books. You know, a lot of authors do that when they reach a certain point. When you've got a universe like that you're writing all of these books in, it's a handy thing to do a companion like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, really wanted it because I love the Durini books, and I like Catherine Kurtz, and she's one of those fantasy authors that not a lot of people know about. I mean, I think in my time at the Malorian Tavern, I only ever found one other tavern member who had read her books. And Marita has read them now. She read 2 or 3 of them, I think, that she got from her library. So, somebody else has read them at this point. But, yeah, I mean, she's one of those lesser-known authors. But she's got so many books in this series. And after I read them, I'm just like, I need this companion, but I'm not paying these ridiculous prices for one of these. But although they were autographed by her and the editor,
Right.
I'm still not paying $1,000 for one. As awesome as it would be to have one, no. So it was one of those, ridiculously exciting moments for me when they announced, oh, we're going to do a paperback mass market version. So, normal people can have them. I'm like, yay!
Yay!
And it's really pretty too. The front cover looks like a stained glass window.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I'm kind of stoked about this Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them thing. I was like, that's pretty awesome because, it's a new story set in that universe.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be something completely different from what we've seen because all we've seen of the Wizarding World is what Harry experienced mostly as a student. Yeah. And this is going to open up the whole thing. And even I didn't realize that it was going to be set in the United States, so that's even going to be something else completely different.
And I'm hoping, even if it doesn't set off more movies, that maybe there will be more short stories and books to come out that's set in that world.
Right.
Even if they're not Harry Potter, even if they're in America or, 70 years before Harry or 20 years before Harry. I think it would be interesting.
Oh, I agree. That would be really cool.
Because, I've always really, really liked the style that she writes in. I love her voice.
Yes.
So I think, as long as she can come up with a solid story to set in that world, I'm down.
I'm pretty sure she can do that.
Yeah.
I have all the confidence in the world in her.
I actually want to read The Casual Vacancy. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah, that's the same for me. And I've heard mixed reviews about it.
Yeah.
Now, were you interested in reading The Cuckoo's Calling?
Yes. I want to read that one too.
Yeah. Because that sounds like it's kind of a detective novel, which you like those.
We all know. I have a thing for detective cop procedural type things. So, yeah, that one's probably right up my alley. So, I will have to read that one too. I need to see if I can get a hold of them and read them. I'm mobile again. I have a car. I can go to places like libraries and bookstores now.
Well, I wanted to, since we're talking about this being our anniversary, I wanted to talk a little bit about what we've done so far. Our first episode was on September 16th, 2012. And we pretty much just rambled the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Which we're kind of doing in this episode too. So hey, that's another way that we're celebrating.
Yay!
So mostly we just kind of talked about our favorite books, what kind of things we liked to read, and I guess let people know just a little bit about us in general. And then after that we started talking about individual books, mostly from, at first from the tavern, and we've tried every month to follow along with their book of the month selection. And for the most part, I think we've done. I don't think we've had to miss any of them, which is good.
No, I think the only time we missed anything is we skipped a month here and at the tavern and just scooted everything down a month.
Yeah, we did that. Oh,
we did Hunger Games.
Yeah, we did it with Hunger Games because that was when we were doing the Harry Potter month.
Yeah.
So we couldn't squeeze it in. So, since I am in charge of the book club over at the Malorian Tavern, I just say, well, the heck with it. We'll just move it.
We'll just move it a month. It'll be okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a problem.
Hey, you're the moderator of the room. You're running the show there.
That's right. But yeah, since then
I'm just a lieutenant administrator. What do I know?
Yeah, hey. It's my room. But
your room, running as you see fit.
Yeah. I'm not breaking any rules.
Nope. As long as you're not breaking any rules, we're cool.
But yeah, since then we've reviewed a whole bunch of books with the tavern. We have reviewed several books now as ARCs from Net Galley, which I think was probably one of my favorite ways that the show has grown over this year, is that it makes us feel more official.
Yeah. No, I think the defining moment for me when it was, official to me that this might eventually be something that's, really popular was getting the Chloe Neal ARC.
That was pretty cool.
I mean, that was one of those where we couldn't just get it from Net Galley. I actually had to contact her PR manager and, give her the details of our website and what we do and all this stuff and request the ARC, and it was actually given to us.
As a book.
So that was like
a physical book.
Yeah, they actually mailed me a copy of the book, and I'm just like, okay, this is real now. We're actually doing this.
Well, just because, like you said, you had to give them all of our information, they had to kind of check us out a little bit before they would give it to us. It's like, that was kind of validating in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. It's been really fun getting to do all of those. And, we've had a bunch of other really good episodes, especially when we've gone through and gotten topics, especially, like I said, we got a lot of them from The Broken the Bookish. So, I mean, I don't think they listen to us, but we're very grateful that we've been able to get a lot of ideas from them.
Oh, yeah.
But I still think one of my favorite episodes that we've done, it was actually one of our first ones. I'm looking at it now. It was actually our 5th episode, and that was when we talked about Banned Books Week.
Yeah.
And we're going to do that again this year. I think it's the week after we review Ready Player One.
I think it's the last week of September.
Yeah. Yes, it's not next week. It's the week after that we're going to do Banned Books Week. Just because that's a topic that both of us are so passionate about, and every time we get started talking about censorship or what they want to try and teach or try and take out of schools, we both kind of get riled up a little bit about that, and that always sparks some good conversation.
Well, censorship is a hot button issue for me.
It's a hot button issue for a lot of people, and so I'm actually really looking forward to our banned books episode this year, because I've got a lot more to say. I'm just gonna tell you. But let's see, we've had 2 special months where we devoted an entire month to one thing. We did the one for the Belgariad, and we did one for Harry Potter. We almost did one for the Chloe Neal Chicagoland Vampire series, but I don't know if it was exactly a month, but it was probably 3 weeks worth.
Yeah, that was kind of my fault, because, when I got the ARC, it was like, yeah, you might want to read these.
Well, you wanted me to read them anyway, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, yeah, and this is book 7. So yeah, we're going to talk about this book in 2 weeks. So you might want to read all 6 other books now. Have fun.
Yeah.
You
But it
did
was
you
worth
did that. It was worth it, and I enjoyed them very much. But you did that with the Chicagoland Vampires. You did that with Mythos Academy.
Yeah.
You've done that to me a couple times now.
Well, I said I would try not to do it anymore, and
Oh.
I've kind of, stuck with that.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't really mind. I just have to give you a little bit of a hard time about it.
Well, it is pretty funny, so.
Like, guess
Yeah.
what?
By the way, I requested this book. It's book 7 in the series. You got 2 weeks to read the other 6.
Crap. It's like I need to find something and do that to you.
Well,
I need to give you a taste of your own medicine.
well, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
At least the stuff that I'm doing this with is not like, I'm expecting you to read, 7 versions of War and Peace in 2 weeks.
No, that would not be good.
Or, 7 Robert Jordan books.
That would not be good either.
Those are quite hefty, and there's no way you could read that entire series in 2 weeks unless that is all you did and did not eat or sleep. Because those are rather large. And
Yeah.
I'm not going to attempt that anyway because those books make me crazy.
It weren't those some of the ones that you threw across the room?
That would be the ones.
Yeah.
They made me nuts, and I will never attempt to read them again. Just because they made me so nuts.
Yeah. But let's see, what else have we done? We've redone our website a couple times now. I like how it's going to stay the way it is right now, just because I don't feel like fooling with it anymore. But we've gotten our episodes retweeted by authors, which was pretty awesome.
Oh, yes.
And, freaky at the same time. Because, when you're sitting here and you're doing this stuff, it's easy. We're kind of, just... we're just sitting here talking, and then you kind of forget a little bit that other people are eventually going to be listening to it. But when you're talking about a book, and then you put it out there, and then you have the author come back and say, "Oh, thanks for reading my book or reviewing it or whatever," and all of a sudden you're like, "Okay, real people are listening to this." Like,
yeah.
Not just my mom. Which my mom does listen most of the time, I think. But, it's like, other people who don't just,
listen because they like us.
Yeah, but like real people are listening.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of blew my mind the first time. I think it was fairly early because I believe when we read Angel Fire, wasn't Courtney Allison Moulton one of the ones that responded back to us?
Yes, she was one of the first ones.
Yeah, and that was episode 4. And so all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh. Somebody saw what we did and liked it. Oh wow, okay. That's kind of scary, but cool, but scary.
And then we've tweeted with Chloe Neal and
Yep.
Garth Nix, I believe, didn't he?
Yeah, he retweeted us. Let's see, I'm just going through some of our posts so it'll kind of get back in my head here. Liesl Schwartz.
Yeah, we've tweeted with her
a couple times. And Jennifer Estep.
Yeah, she did when we did the Mythos books.
Mm-hmm.
We've had several, and it's pretty awesome. And then these authors, also they'll start following us.
Yeah, we've had several authors follow us on Twitter. I don't know if they followed us on the website or not, but yeah, it just some of it just completely blows my mind. Like, we're still pretty, starting pretty small, but we're moving up a little bit, and that's kind of awesome.
It really is. It always gives me a little shriek of joy when a new one,
mm-hmm.
retweets, follows, or
something.
I'm always like, wow. There's usually Facebook messages. Oh my God, did you see this?
I know. We've done that. We've done that several times. Just recently, I can't remember who it was now, but it was like, did you see? Oh, it was Vicky Peterson
Yeah,
who followed
that
us
did the
on Twitter.
yeah, yeah. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool because I never really. I mean, we didn't actually tweet at her, I don't think. And if we did, it's been a while back when I was reading the book. So it was just kind of came out of left field that she
Yeah,
followed us.
and I saw that pop up in the email, and I said, wait a minute, because I've never read her books, but I knew you had read them and had liked them, and so I saw the name, I was like, wait, I know that name, and then all of a sudden it dawned on me who it was. I was like, oh my gosh, like, guess what? Look and see who followed us. You'll know who she is. Yeah, it's been really cool, and another thing that we started doing fairly recently is we opened our Cafe Press store. I should say you opened our Cafe Press store because I didn't really have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I got bored one day. What did I say?
Well, a lot of our innovations have been because of you, because up until recently you've had more free time to come up with things, and
Yeah.
I'm grateful for that, because otherwise I don't think much of this would have gotten off the ground. Because I will say, doing the podcast was something that I had thought about doing for a long time, and I always figured that I was going to do it. Eventually, I was just going to do it by myself. And I can guarantee you, if I had done this by myself, that this would not have gotten this far, even. I mean, I probably wouldn't have gotten past a couple of shows, and definitely wouldn't have been as successful as we've been. So a lot of that is all you.
Well, it's hard to, get on and do a podcast having a conversation with yourself like this.
Oh, I have conversations with myself all the time.
Well, I do too, but they're not nearly as entertaining.
No, probably not.
Unless you're Greg Proops, but he just likes the sound of his own voice, so he manages quite well to do his Smartest Man in the World podcast alone.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, he does heckle the audience, so there you go.
Well, we don't do that.
Well, he's recorded live in front of an audience. So.
Oh, well, that makes it easier.
Yeah, that makes it a little easier to heckle your audience.
Yeah, we would never heckle you, audience. We are grateful that you're listening at all.
Yeah, this is true.
But so we have that Cafe Press store now, and if you haven't been over to the Cafe Press store, go check it out, because there's a lot of really cool stuff. I still need to place my order, which I have not done yet.
So do I.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff on there that I want.
I want the Raglan t-shirt. The baseball jersey looking one.
Yeah.
I want that one.
That one's cool. I might get that one myself. And I also saw that there's a Kindle sleeve.
Yep.
I like that. I want it for my Kindle. A couple of other things.
And there's a can koozie in there for your mom.
Yeah, because that was what she had said. Yeah, we're very flexible. So, there's anything you think we should have in there, let us know. We will pop it in there quicker than you could say Jack Robinson. But one of the reasons that I wanted to mention the Cafe Press store is because last week I had said something about we were going to do another giveaway.
Yes.
Just because we'll pretend that we're hobbits, and it's our birthday, so we're going to give you a present.
Hey, I'm down with that.
Because that's what hobbits do.
And hey, sometime in September is Bilbo and Frodo's birthday?
Yeah, I don't remember when, but it's sometime in September. I want to say 21st, maybe?
Yeah, I think that sounds something right.
I don't know. So, yeah, okay, in honor of our anniversary and the birthdays of Bilbo and Frodo Baggins, we are going to give you a present. And that present will be pretty much anything you see in our Cafe Press store. One item, your choice. Now, if you want to enter in the giveaway, here's all you have to do. All you have to do is wish us happy anniversary. And you can do that on the website, in the comments. You can do that on Twitter, or you can do that by email. Because we always give you all different ways you can enter, just because some people it's easier if they're, just on Twitter, they can just send it to us, or if they're not on Twitter but they follow the website, they can put it there. But, yeah, I think that is a fair thing. And then you can show everybody how much you like our podcast.
I'm down with that.
So that is the prize for this week. So enter and try and enter by next Thursday, which is the 19th, because that's usually when we actually record, so we'll have to choose a winner at that point. So enter to get in the drawing for our Cafe Press thing, and then we will select the winner. We will let everybody know the winner on the next episode, and then we'll get in touch with you about selecting what it is you want.
Yep.
And how to get it to you and all of that necessary information.
Yeah, that would be useful if they win something. We might want to actually,
be able to send it to them. Yeah, it's little details that we have. All these little details you need to try and keep up with to have a podcast.
I think it'll be awesome. I mean, we have lots of stuff. We have T-shirts. We have drinking glasses. We have, I think, I'm gonna do a coffee mug eventually. The problem is I've got the design has to wrap around.
Oh.
So I've got to come up with something that will wrap around the mug.
Gotcha.
So that will be in there eventually. We've got hoodies, we've got T-shirts, we've got the Kindle sleeve, we've got a Nook sleeve, we've got the can koozie, we've got a clock, we've got mouse pads, we've got a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I still think you need to get the clock and put it in your office at work.
I like that idea. I definitely like that idea. I just need to... I'm going to probably put in a crazy order and get like 15 different things.
Well, now that I'm a working stiff again, I can eventually order me something. I'm going to order the Raglan t-shirt. I just have to decide what color sleeves I'm going to get because it looks really good with the black, the blue, and the red.
Oh, so you need to choose one.
I'm leaning towards red because I have a black one with white sleeves and I have a white one with green sleeves. So I'm leaning towards the white one with red sleeves. Because I have one that I got when me and Holly went to Oklahoma from one of the restaurants we ate at called Dilly Deli.
Mm-hmm.
Has the Dilly Deli logo on the front, and on the back it says I'm kind of a big dilly. And then I have a black one with white sleeves that I got when we went to Florida for Welcome to Rockville that's a Pop Evil t-shirt. So I think I'm going to get the red sleeves. I like red. But it looks so good. Just the colors in our logo look good with the black sleeves, they look good with the blue sleeves, and they look good with red sleeves. So
So lots of things to choose. And if you pick something that has some kind of choice, you have to pick color or style or something, we'll get that situated because we'll want you to have it just the way you like it.
Yeah, some of the t-shirts have different color choices. So
yeah. But anyway, I think we're probably going to go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. We're not going to have like a crazy long episode this week. We'll leave that for other times when,
yeah.
Since we're celebrating, we're not going to get you guys tired of listening to us. But anyway, we just wanted to say thank you so much for listening to us go on and on and on about books, because this has been a really fun year doing this, and there's lots of things that I've gotten to do this year that I wouldn't have gotten to do if we hadn't been doing this podcast. So I'm really really grateful for everybody who's followed the blog, followed us on Twitter, listened to us week after week as we just go on and on and on about all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, and here's to another year or more, because who knows?
It'll be fun. Look, we have a lot of fun doing this because we get to gripe about things like the Mortal Instruments movie.
Yeah.
And we get to discuss books, and this is something I read a lot, and I mean, I have friends here who do read, but there's not nearly enough of them that read the same stuff I do.
Right. No, I understand. I'm kind of in the same boat there.
And when I want to, flail around and scream and shout and complain about characters or plot lines or plot holes, it's nice to know that I have a weekly outlet for that.
Yeah. So, anyway, thanks everybody again. And just a reminder about the ways that you can get in touch with us, especially since you're going to want to, sign in for that giveaway. Our email address is bibliophiles.podcast@gmail.com. Our Twitter handle is at BibAnonPodcast. And you can also find us at our official website, www.bibliophiles-anonymous.com. So again, if you want to enter in the giveaway, just wish us happy anniversary on any of those 3 places, and you will automatically be entered.
Yep.
So,
yay!
So join us next week when we will be talking about Ready Player One. And if you haven't read it, give it a try, because it's really kind of fun, and I think you'll like it. So, until then, thanks so much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.